Good morning, beautiful people. This is Real AF. I'm coming to you from my backyard where we do one shot and you get the real thing. So, mistakes and all, here we go. If you don't know who I am yet, my name is Taylor, and I just feel like I really do have a calling to talk to kids. I remember how hard it was when I was a kid, and I just wished I had an adult that saw me and knew what I was going through or paid attention even. And so I basically spent the rest of my, see what I'm saying, bugs, hold on, here we go. Okay, hopefully we'll be good now. Yeah, like I was saying, I remember just wishing that there was an adult that would have seen me when I was a kid and talk me through life, because life can be really hard sometimes. There's my dog Ada. I'm sure you're gonna see her a lot too. So anyway, this is my backyard, and I have been coming out here every morning now for months, and it has been really good for me to start my day by coming out here, being in nature, hearing the birds. I think we get so caught up in social media and television and school and work and stress that we forget that we are just beings that are part of nature like anybody else. So it's been really good for me to come out in nature and just kind of reconnect with what it means to be human. I think that's something we forget when we're just caught up in the busyness of life. I don't know about you guys, I don't know how old you are, but I know at least for my kids, their schedule is jam-packed between school events, sports, family things. There's not a lot of time for yourself anymore, and I think it's something we really need. So if you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed or you're just not feeling your best, maybe just go sit outside for a little bit and see what that does for you. I think you'll be surprised at how much it can actually help. But the message I wanted to come to you today with has to do with feelings and emotions. Something I wish I knew, and maybe I did know, but I just didn't feel like that was the truth, was that it's okay to feel your feelings. Being mad, angry, sad, all of that is happy. All of that is a normal part of the human experience. And for some reason, I feel like we're taught to downplay our feelings if there are any feelings other than the good ones. And I've really learned that that's just not healthy. It's not healthy. I'm gonna just tell you a little bit about me. I kind of had a rough childhood, and I felt really lonely for a lot of it. And I kept all my feelings inside because I could see that the people around me were maybe struggling a little more than I was. So I just bottled everything up, and I thought that that was the way to do things, that if I just bottled things up and acted like everything was normal and was happy, then that everything would be fine. And it was probably about the 6th grade where I really started feeling like severe pain in my neck and getting these awful headaches. And I remember I used to pop my neck all the time. And it still pops to this day. But I remember being young and people would be like, oh my gosh, why do you do that? And I would tell them, can you imagine how bad it hurts that I have to do that? And so I've taken this kind of medical journey my whole life of trying to figure out why I had this neck pain and why I had these headaches. And I have been to every doctor you can imagine. My family doctor, a neurologist, I've been to a massage therapist, chiropractor, and everybody kind of had a different reason why my neck might hurt. And then they gave me exercises to do or medicine or something to fix it. And it just never got better. And I really started getting disheartened, like I'm just gonna live with this pain for the rest of my life. So here I am now, 36, and I think I'm just now figuring it out. And what it is I buried those emotions in my body for all those years. I didn't know how to express my feelings. I didn't know how to be sad. I didn't know how to be happy. I didn't know how to do these things in a healthy way. And I think that part of it was I tend to be empathic, where I really care about the feelings of people around me. So if I was sad or if someone hurt my feelings, I would just say, well, they didn't really mean it. They are just going through something hard right now. And so it's okay, don't take it to heart, and it's fine. And I would kind of intellectualize why someone else hurt me. But I never honored the fact that, excuse me, I never honored the fact that I was actually hurt. My feelings were hurt, and me feeling that way was justified. So, through some more learning and all of that, I've learned that pain can be stored in your body as unexpressed emotions. And it's something that I even see in my own kids. My son might be really upset, and he'll do everything in his power to hold back his tears. And I'm sure, that's cultural. Men are supposed to be manly and never cry. And that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, because I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you have feelings, and it is okay to feel them. So anytime that happens, I'll be like, you can cry. Like, what you're going through right now is hard. What you're going through right now hurts. What you're going through right now is sad. So, oh, did you guys just hear the frog? I have this really awesome koi pond in my backyard, which we only actually have one koi fish in there, and I don't know if you can see him. Oh, there he is. There's the white one. And then up there, we've got a bunch of frogs. So every now and then they might make a little cameo and you might hear them. Just, like my dog too. You're gonna get to know all these little creatures in my backyard. But you know what? They've made my life so much more full. It's wonderful. Okay, so back to feelings. I wish someone told me to express them, that is just a normal part of being human, that you have feelings, that's normal, express them. And I get sometimes it's not necessarily appropriate to express some of our negative feelings depending on where we're at. If you're going through something and you're at work or you're at school, you can't exactly just sit there and have a breakdown. But when you come home and you're in the safety of your own space, like, I really do urge you to let yourself feel what you're going through. One of the tricks that I've learned is that if I just need to have a really good cry, I'll hop in the shower, and I'll even let people know. Like, I'll let my family know I've had a really hard day, and I think crying will honestly make me feel better. So I'm gonna hop in the shower, and I'm just gonna have a really good cry. And I am telling you, there is nothing that feels better than a really good cry in the shower. So that's one of my suggestions. And another thing that I've learned is, like, people get sick. People get sick all the time. And I used to think it was like you caught this bug and there was nothing you could do about it, and that's why you got sick. Well, our bodies are literally created to protect us in any way that they can. So whether that is from emotions that you don't know how to handle, so it just like stuffs it down and holds it there for you, and that's what turns to pain in our body, or if it's getting sick. When we get sick, it's like a signal that our body is telling us that you need to rest, or you're doing too much, or you're not eating healthy enough, or you're not sleeping enough, or like, take it as a signal. Your body's telling you, like, hey, something's off and I'm not able to manage it. And so by the time you really get sick, you're kind of out of alignment at that point. And obviously, I'm not a medical doctor. If you are sick, you've got a cold, you feel like you need to go see a doctor, you're hurt, go do those things. Absolutely go do those things. But sometimes our body is really wise, and it's just telling us what we need. So one thing that I've really changed this year is I'm trying really hard to listen more to my body and what my body's telling me. Oh my gosh, the sun's like coming up full, so I can't even see the camera anymore because it's right in my eyes, but it's so beautiful to just get to see these things happen. I might have to move here in a minute, but I don't even remember where I was saying. Sorry guys, you'll realize that I'm like a squirrel and I'll go here, but eventually I'll get back to what I'm trying to say. Oh yeah, listen to your body. That's what I'm learning how to do. So like I said before, I've been in pain for just so many years, and I have tried everything I could possibly do to get better other than listening to my body. So that's my new goal, is to get out of my head so much and listen to what my body's telling me. So sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm tired. Like this week has been really busy and I've had a lot on my mind and all of this. And so I'm like, I just need a Netflix day. I need to climb in bed and just do Netflix. And when I used to do that, I would feel really bad about myself. Like, you're so lazy. You've done nothing today. You should have cleaned the house. You had laundry to do. Maybe you're thinking, I need to study for this test or whatever. But if your body's telling you you're tired, it's because you are. You are tired. So if you will give yourself the opportunity to rest, then you'll feel so much better. And that tiredness doesn't have to last for so long. And like I said, not a doctor, but I think that's what stress is. I think it's where our body is out of alignment for such a long time that you start feeling stress. And we all know that stress can lead to some really nasty things. So this is me just telling you, if you're going through something, honor the fact that you're going through something. That is a totally normal experience. It's not something you need to hide. You're allowed to feel your feelings. If someone hurts you, you're allowed to feel hurt. You're allowed to express that. If you feel like someone's hurt you and you can't express it. So like say maybe it's your parents or it's your siblings and you live with them and they're the ones that take care of you and feed you and take you to school, but they've really hurt your feelings and you just don't feel like you have the ability to tell them that. Then get out a journal. Get out a journal and write how you feel. Listen to some music. Just give yourself the moment to express how you're feeling. Even if you can't express it to the person, don't let those feelings stay bottled up inside you. Or talk to a friend. We hear a lot about venting, and I don't really know how I feel about venting in the common sense, in that, I feel like we say, oh, I just need to vent, and it's a lot of just like negativity, like I don't like this person and they did this and da da da. I think we can get caught in the trap of having negative thoughts, and if you speak negatively, you're gonna feel negatively. So I don't know that that's always the best outlet, but if you have a trusted friend that you can go to and say, I got in a fight with my mom and she just doesn't understand where I'm coming from, and she said some really mean things, and I know she didn't mean them. I know she didn't mean them because she's my mom and I know she loves me, but she still said it and it hurt. That's valid. That's valid to feel that way. So if you have a trusted friend that you can talk to, and if you don't, that's who I am. That's why I built this channel. I built this channel for kids who need somebody that they can turn to when they feel like they don't have anybody else to turn to. So obviously there's my comment section and you can write anything in there and I will try to get back to every single thing. But if it's something that you feel like is super personal that you don't want to share publicly, I do have an email for the channel and it's called authenticwithtay@gmail.com. So authentic is spelled AUTHENTIC with tay@gmail.com. Shoot me an email and I will answer you. I will be there to talk you through whatever you're going through. And I might not have the answers, but I can sit there with you and I can see you and I can say, I hear you. I hear that you're hurt. If you hadn't seen my intro video, my background is I've worked in the schools for a few years, and I worked in a middle school and I was a secretary in a middle school. And I found that my favorite part of my job was when I was connecting with the kids that were maybe having a hard time. And I'd have kids that would come to the office and they'd be crying or upset, or, maybe they just came to school and they had just gotten in a big fight with their mom. So you could tell that they were upset. And I just refused to send them straight to class and act like nothing was wrong because I could see that something was wrong. So I would just be like, hey, let's go on a walk. And I'd walk around the school with them and I'd find out what's going on. And I realized through that process that that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be there for kids when no one else is there for them. And I think more and more these days, kids are alone because both parents are working, And it just has to be that way. You know, our economy is the way it is. Parents are doing the best they can. Everybody's just trying to survive. But, you know, kids need someone. All humans need someone. But for me, I feel like it's really important for kids to have someone that they can turn to try to help figure out life. And through that process, I just realized this is what I was supposed to do. This is what I was put on the earth to do. I had a really hard time as a kid. I remember middle school being just so brutal. I think anybody can admit that middle school is like one of the hardest times in life. And I just want to be the adult that I wish that I had. So honestly, this is why this channel was built. If you ever need anything, if you need someone to talk to, email me. I promise I will get back to you. So yeah, anyway, after working in the schools, and we moved from Ohio to Indiana, and now we've been in Indiana about 2 years, I decided to go back to school so that I can be a professional counselor. So this is like the counselor that goes in your schools, that your guidance counselor, your professional counselor. And eventually I might end up in the schools, or I'm also trying to get my licensure, or I will get my licensure that will let me be a counselor like in a hospital setting or in an office setting. But none of those felt quite right to me. I knew that I was supposed to talk to kids and be there for kids. And so I've been trying to find the like right path to do that. And then I was meditating one morning and literally got the message, start a YouTube channel. And I was like, what? Wrong generation. I don't know anything about that. I have a zero, you know, kids are always like, I want to be a famous YouTuber. I want to be a Mr. Beast. Like my son can just go on and on and on about all the YouTubers. And I just kind of tune him out because that's not my world. That's not my world. But that was the message I received. And I was like, well, that's where kids are. So I guess I need to meet them where they're at. So here I am. I'm here for you. That's what this whole channel is about. It's not about me. Hopefully through this you'll get to know me, but it's not about me. It's about you guys. And I named it Real AF because it's not a show. You're gonna see my mistakes. I've already uploaded both of my videos wrong. I'm learning. I don't know if I'll ever actually be good at it. But I'm here. I'm showing up. And who knows, maybe this will end up being my job, maybe it won't. But either way, it's a way to get my messages out to kids, and also a way for kids to be able to get to me if they just need to talk. So number one, that's the reason why I'm here. I am here for you. I'm here for just support and just holding space. I don't know. I can't wait to like listen to this back to see if you guys can actually see or hear the frogs, because yeah, it's pretty loud, but I love it. I love it. So yeah, that's who I am, and I hope this is helpful for you guys, and I hope I can make a video for you every day. Whatever pops in my head that I just want to tell you, that's what I will do. And we'll talk about anything. And if there's questions you have or topics you want to talk about, then leave them in the comments. Leave them in the comments. Maybe I'll do a question and answer video if there's enough questions, or, you know, if there's a topic that you want to know more about. Even if I don't know about it, I can do some research and I can talk to you about it, or I can share my experiences with certain things, just so you can have an example. Yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm here for that. So if no one's told you today, I love you and I mean it. You're already enough, exactly as you are. And hopefully through this process together, not only will you hear me say that, but you will believe it too. So I love you guys. Until the next video, have a good day.